What is up, everyone? Today is a very, very special episode. I have none other than Coach Brian Bivins on the show. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
This is a very special episode. And I think for me, it's very, very special because I wouldn't be where I'm at today without you.
That's very nice to say. I don't know if that's true or not, but I like to think that our journey together was special and was meant to be that day when we met in the parking lot. And you were a wrestler and I think a football player.
Yeah. I have the story like I can remember it like yesterday.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that. So my goal today is, by the way, the other crazy thing about this is you cannot find Coach Bivins anywhere online. I remember years ago, maybe we spoke about this, where you're like, oh, dude, I'm just low-key. I don't want anyone, nothing. Like I coach, that's it, right? And I messaged you a few days ago. I sent you a video. I was like, okay, maybe he might say yes, because I don't know. You responded, you were like, yeah, I'll do it. And I was like, oh, I was telling Luis, I was like, I can't believe this. I told Rich, I was like, Bivens said yes. I messaged John Woo yesterday.
It's a point in my life where I think you have to give back.
Yeah.
So many people mentored me.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that my methods or what I do, it's for me and for my athletes.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to write a book or go to clinics and things like that because it may be beneficial. It may not be. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I've had so many younger coaches coming to me. I have another guy coming to my house tomorrow.
Yeah.
They just want to vibe. And I'm like, I don't view myself in that way. But if I can help someone else, give them some cheat codes, show them what I do. Maybe it works for your population. Maybe it doesn't.
Yeah.
I just think I owe my mentors. And I'm at the point in my life where maybe in 10 years, maybe I'm not doing anything anymore. I don't know.
Sure.
And I don't want all of it to be lost.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to kind of give it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I have multiple coaches that are kids that I coach that are now head coaches. It's kind of crazy. Coach Kim too. So we're like seeing our tentacles kind of going out. I guess it's not really secret if everybody's out there teaching it and coaching it. So
absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna take it back. I do want to spend a lot of time in coaching your philosophy, what's worked for you, what you see in the industry, and also talk about high school, what's like at the high school level. But I want to take it back a little bit. Are you born and raised Orange County, California?
Yeah, I went to Fountain Valley. I lived on Brookers and Garfield.
You went to Fountain Valley High School?
Mm-hmm.
What are we at? Well,
88 to 92.
88 to 92.
Yeah,
okay.
51 now.
Amazing. You're young.
Well, one of the cool things was when I left in 92, we won a league title.
Okay.
And then kind of the group that I worked with won another league title in 93.
Yeah.
And then there was not another league title on track until I came back in 2007. At least on the boys' side.
Wow.
So
it was like this
17-year gap. And so
drought.
I felt like I could come, like I won one as an athlete.
Came back.
And I was supposed to go to Roosevelt High School.
Okay. So hold on, you were running track in high school?
At Fountain Valley High School, and then I went to Long Beach City College, and then I went to USC.
Did you run track before high school?
No, I did. I was a soccer player.
Okay.
And I partially tore my MCL.
Okay.
My sophomore year, and I went to track just to rehab for soccer.
Did you go to Masuda? Where'd you go for?
I went to Moyola, which doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
We had like 30 graduating 8th graders, so we all had to play every sport.
Okay.
Because there was literally like 8 guys in the whole school.
Okay, so tell me this: middle school, high school, who was Brian Bivins?
I know we're going back. Hardworking student.
Yeah.
Probably better in like English and stuff like that. Struggled a little bit more in math, but I thought science was cool. It was kind of boring the way they were presenting it to me.
Yeah.
Obviously, now that I studied exercise physiology and sports medicine and at USC, and I got more into it, and more of that side of it, it became very interesting.
Yeah.
Especially when the science is applied to athletics.
Sure.
So you learn about it, and then your lab is trying it out.
Yeah.
Kids. And so when you get to do that and you see people get better faster or you mess up.
Yeah.
It's that immediate feedback.
Yeah.
There's some emotions involved, so it's a little scary.
Sure.
But they're there to grow with you as a coach. They're an athlete, you're a coach, and so you kind of try things out.
Yeah.
And so that's more exciting to me.
Did you know what you wanted to do, like whether it's in middle school and by high school where you're like, oh, I want to get into science or I want to be a teacher? Did you know that already?
My dad was a businessman.
Okay.
Had a successful company, sales. Some people thought I might go that direction, but probably right after I got hurt when I was a sophomore.
Yeah.
And I rehabbed, I realized, I kind of want to be a physical therapist, which is a very common story.
Yeah.
But the problem is when I went into that, I was running a couple different clinics as a physical therapy assistant.
Okay.
And I would do like the PTs would give me a chart, and then I would do the exercises. Well, a lot of the stuff that I would get in the chart, I would like tweak and play with, which is a little bit unusual. Usually you follow exactly what the chart is.
Yeah.
But some of the PT guys allowed me to have a little bit more freedom, and so that's where that love started to happen.
But in high school, you wanted to be a physical therapist.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what I realized was I was working with car accident people, workers' comp. It wasn't athletes.
Sure.
It wasn't people that wanted to necessarily get better.
Yeah.
So right before you would send them to the doctor, they're like pain out of 1 out of 10, they're at a 1, and you're like awesome, and then all of a sudden you're about to send them back and they're pain's at a 9.
Yeah.
Why? Because they wanted to stay on workers' comp. And as soon as I experienced that, it took all the love out of it.
Like you didn't like working with that demographic?
I didn't like. My job is to make people better.
Yeah.
But when people don't want to get better,
or
pretend like they're not getting better, if that was going to be my reality, even half the time, it just absolutely crushed my spirit.
Yeah.
And then of course Medicare cut. We used to get like 120 a patient. It cut down to like 80 a patient.
Yeah.
So therapists weren't making as much money. You were an independent contractor.
Yeah.
You could be hired and fired at will. There's no insurance. I was like, wow, I don't like any of this. And so that's when I started gravitating towards, well, what other skills do I have? All these science units. I could take these classes and be a health teacher, science, PE, all of that, and then I could coach.
Yeah. So did you have a mentor in high school or anyone that was like, did anybody stick out, whether on the teacher side or coaching side, that helped you kind of push you in the right direction?
I mean, not a lot of mentors at that level. There was a trainer. I was telling you about, a decathlete.
Yeah.
He used to live at Lowe's Cabin. He wrote a little book up. His name was John. And he kind of got me into how to lift, how to train a little bit.
Okay.
Kind of created a bit of a foundation. He later on went into like money markets or something.
Sure, gotcha.
It gave me this, you're not just practicing or doing workouts. There's an overall agenda. There's a system.
Yeah.
And so I started kind of, whether I knew it or not at that moment, understanding that you just don't do random workouts.
Yeah.
The workouts are supposed to lead to something.
Gotcha.
And that was probably when I was like 16, 17. So probably the early start of periodization and things like that.
Wow. So in high school, how did you end up in track? Like how was...
Just got hurt playing soccer and wanted to run track to get better for soccer. And then I was fast. And
what events did you do?
I did the 4x1, the 100, the 200, the 400, and the 4x4.
Okay.
To be honest, I probably should have been an 800 runner.
Okay.
Because I didn't know this at the time, but my uncle, because my family's kind of not close and we're all separate.
Sure.
Allegedly, my uncle was like a 147 half miler and ran in college. And so I had no relationship with him really.
Yeah.
Which is a big bummer because apparently we're like very similar in every way.
No way.
He was a police officer in LA. He ran track, like very much disciplined and focused. And so anyway, I probably should have done that because when I was in college doing 600 workouts and stuff, I was running times that were like low 150. And they're like, you have range. Like I could run, 10.7.
Sure.
Which isn't fast in college, but it's fast enough.
Yeah.
All the way up to probably 150 low, 140s in the 8. So I had that kind of a range. And then that also got me into how are 400 runners really being trained?
Yeah.
How are 800 runners being trained? If I can run that fast just off speed work.
Right.
But it seems like all 800 runners are distance runners going like strength down.
Yeah.
I was being introduced to this idea of speed up.
Yeah.
And so that's probably the most prominent thing I'm doing right now is speed up.
Yeah.
Which is 400, 800 versus strength down. And I think that's a massive...
Interesting.
Two different populations.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think coaches that like strength down really don't like coaches that are coaching speed up. So like Long Beach Wilson, who has some of the best 400 and 800 in the state, it's all speed up. So when I went to Long Beach, I learned what I would call the Long Beach way, which I'm sure Coach Richardson learned.
Why did you go to Long Beach City? And also, what was that like?
Well, it was interesting because at Fountain Valley, I think we had maybe 4 African-American kids in the whole school.
Yeah. And what was the demographic like back then, Fountain Valley?
It was probably 60% white.
Okay.
Maybe 70% white.
Yeah.
There was very little diversity.
Yeah.
It could even have been higher than that.
Yeah.
And so I was just used to an environment that was like same. Everything was the same.
Yeah.
Food was the same. Culture was the same. We didn't really have conversations about race, culture, any of that really. And then I went to Long Beach City and I was the only white person on the whole team.
I know. How did, was that like, I mean, you kind of went to the hood.
I did.
And why?
Some of my classes were in some scary places. And some of my friends said, you have Cherry Avenue in Long Beach. You can stay on this side of Cherry Avenue.
Yeah.
If you cross that, you shouldn't do that. And so...
why'd you go?
Because they won 10 state titles in like 12 years. Ron Alice was like the best track coach in the whole area at the time. And so I went over there with my mother, which is kind of embarrassing. And I met him and he was a 400 runner. He coached at Long Beach State. and then went to Long Beach City. Eventually, he went to USC, and I followed him there. That's how I.
Yeah.
But he's still coaching right now, volunteering at Long Beach City, which is crazy because he's like 90 something years old or something.
So when you went, was that like, for instance, Fountain Valley is like suburbs. It's very like, for instance, you going to Long Beach City. I remember when I went to Compton, it was a very embarrassing thing for me.
In what way?
In the sense where like I had really good grades, and I know that wasn't your first choice. You were actually against it, but it was very difficult because even for my family, they're like, "What are you doing? Like, why don't you like you can?" I remember I got a 75% ride to Cal Poly Pomona, which is a very good school to go to.
Yeah, I sent some kids there for a while. It was good.
Yeah, but like I would at that time, I knew that I was like, I'm gonna. It may not be like status quo, but I want to go chase my dream. Like I don't mind. Yeah. I know I'm smart. Like I'll be okay. Did you have that, or like was your dad like, "Hey, Brian, I can't believe you're doing this"?
They didn't like me going there either.
Yeah.
But I figured if I was going to do this thing,
yeah,
that I was going to go find, and this is kind of what I do in life. If I'm going to do something, I find the best people that have ever done it, and then I try to learn from them.
Yeah.
And then put my spin on it. So it's not just like I'm doing what they want. I want to have my own identity in it as well.
Have your own opinions,
which is maybe good or bad. I don't know, but I try to take what they do and then bring what I do and kind of merge it.
Gotcha. So what was the passion behind track and field, or what was the goal you were going for?
Just personal. I enjoyed getting faster. So when I put the time in and trained hard, and you saw that time going down and down and down, and I realized my hard work and my effort directly related to an outcome.
Yeah.
I guess I'm goal-driven, goal-oriented.
1,000%.
I would set goals, and then when I saw those goals being achieved, it gave me like a boost. And, so I did that with everything in life. I mean, when I buy houses and they roll, or when I coach, or whatever I do, I want to try to be excellent at that thing. And if I'm not, then I won't do it. Or I try to, if I'm overly committed on too many different things, I try to bring it down so that I'm good or excellent at 3 things rather than being too diversified.
So what was your goal in track? Was it like, hey, I want to run professionally, or like I want to hit a certain time? What was it?
I went to Coach Alice because I wanted to know if I was good or not. I wanted to know if I could even have an identity as an athlete. I'm not big.
How did you know you were good at that, or like in high school? Were you like?
Well, I was, league champion and stuff like that. But when I went to him, I did a practice, and I said, I want you to be honest with me. If I'm not good, you just need to tell me, and I'll move on.
Wow.
And so I ran up there, and he's like, no, you have talent. But people that I was with, like my roommate was like, broke the American record in the 100 hurdles.
Wow.
Dominic Arnold.
Wow.
There was some significantly fast people.
Yeah.
A guy named McClatty ran 45 in the quarter. There was multiple guys running 46 and 47 in the quarters. These are fast people. Just to survive practice felt like a track meet.
Yeah.
And so it was a very, very high volume program. So as a quarter miler, you were doing like 500s.
Wow.
And then something called like 10Xs, which would be like 20 100s after that. And then bleachers and then lifting. So it was like the Long Beach way is what I would call it. Is taking yourself to your limits and then going beyond it. Everything was designed to take you beyond your limits.
Yeah.
And I had not experienced that in my community. And I do think there's almost a racial component in the sense
100%.
that where I came from, everything was safe, a little bit easy.
100%.
You weren't really scared to make a mistake because your parents were there to take care of you or whatever.
Yeah.
When I was in Long Beach and then even into LA, people were taking really huge chances.
Yeah.
And weren't afraid. And so I was still a little afraid.
Yeah.
I was afraid of what I could do.
Sure.
I was afraid to go beyond my limits. And so I learned from a lot of these kids in LA and Long Beach not to be fearless.
Yeah.
To just go for it, die,
yeah.
and know that actually the battle starts when you die.
Wow.
You sprint to that point, you die, and then how do I get that last part?
Amazing.
Where in the old days, you would never get to that. Like, there's a lot of kids that don't want to die.
Yeah.
So they want to be safe. They run at 85, 90%.
Exactly.
So they taught me, you actually go till you die, till you have nothing left, and then the battle starts.
Yeah.
How do I find that last 10 seconds, 20 seconds?
Yeah. What was it like being, were you the only white guy at Long Beach?
Pretty much. I mean, when I first got there, I sat in the office, and the sprinters were asking me what the workout was going to be.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't know. I'm here too. And they're like, oh, you're not the coach? And I was like, I'm not the coach.
Yeah.
I'm here to run. And they go, the distance runners are over there.
Oh, man.
And I was like, no, I'm a sprinter. And so they were laughing. So
yeah.
I just remember not at first, I mean, they were nice, but I wasn't accepted into the community because I hadn't proved myself.
Sure.
And so when I started going to the workouts, I think my memory of it was I was running against a kid that had a full ride to Florida State.
Sure.
He was probably a 47, 46 quarter miler. And we were running an all-out 600 right around December.
Yeah.
and first year there. And I remember we went out in like 52, 53 seconds.
Yeah.
And I came back in like 30, and I broke him in that last 200. And
Wow.
so everybody was like freaking out, and I didn't really know.
Yeah.
Like we were together the last 200. I just went for it.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, they treated me like a brother.
Yeah.
And it's really a huge thing because they were afraid to come to Orange County because they said they would be shot by the police.
Oh, wow.
Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I mean, it's probably naive of me.
What year was that?
That was 92 to 95 is when I was there.
When was Rodney King stuff going on?
It was 92 was the LA riots.
Okay.
Because I remember watching it after a track meet on TV at a pizza place.
Wow.
So they had told me if we go to Orange County, we'll be murdered.
Wow.
So I actually took them in my and of course it was really horrible. So I was driving a white Acura with white leather interior and a white guy, it's like I couldn't be any like whiter than, and I took them into Orange County and just to show them around, show them that, hey, you're embracing me and giving me your culture. I just want you to be able to experience some of my culture as well.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. I still don't think I probably understand anywhere near what their struggle was like.
Sure.
It's probably very, very naive of me.
Wow.
But I did appreciate that they embraced me. They taught me. They treated me like a brother.
Yeah.
And I do think going forward, that's allowed me to work with other coaches and athletes and treat everybody the same. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female or what your sexual orientation is. None of that really matters to me.
Sure.
I just want to treat you like an athlete and give you the respect that I had. Where everybody can get better.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I have a very similar story because when I went to Compton, I was the only brown guy where, I was already running it. Like, you kind of have like this respect, right? But when I went to Compton, I was like, who's this guy? Whatever. And the same thing, like I was like, for me, it was actually important. I wanted to be accepted. Like, I'm not just like,
of course.
And also you're the suburbs kid, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, your mom gave you everything. You're probably just all taken care of.
Yeah.
I remember in high school, I used to complain because I didn't have text messaging on my phone. They were sharing their grandmother's phone. And it was 4 people sharing their grandma's phone. And I learned more about life overall at Compton than I did anywhere else.
Did you learn that fearlessness that they have as well? Where
now that you talk about that, the way that Rich did some of his workouts, like we used to do these 500 workouts where like, yes, you had to come in at the 4 at a certain time. And then it was like, you got to keep going. We also used to do these, I think it was 350 meter time trial. It was something like that where or 45-second time trial. And you go as far as you can, right? And it's like a real thing. And I remember when I did that, I probably went at like 340, it was something like that. Maybe that's why I'm saying 350. But the other guys, some of them didn't even warm up. They came in Jordan slides and they almost finished the 400. And I was like,
no fear of failure.
They were just, I don't care. There's nothing, like, what do I have to lose, And I think, when certain things like that, you can carry that outside of sports, right? And you realize like failing or down, it's not the end. Like there's life after death.
There's a whole other journey.
Yeah.
Once you get to your maximum.
100%.
And I can't remember is that guy online? Is it Scroggins, that crazy guy that does like 100-mile runs and I think it's
David Goggins?
Goggins.
Yeah, Goggins.
I heard him say he like lives with people and breaks them through their barriers.
100%.
So he has people do like 100 pull-ups.
Yeah.
Which is like impossible, right?
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah.
And once they get to 100, he says, and you can barely do it. He goes, now I want you to do 1,000.
Yeah.
Something insane like
that. Right.
And so it's just this idea that the journey begins when you're at the end of yourself.
Yeah.
And you think there's nothing left.
Yeah.
There's this whole nother universe.
100%.
You don't realize, I don't realize until you go there. And that's 100%. Why we do Jedi runs. I don't know if you remember Jedi runs. But
which ones were those?
That's where you run you run a 300 straight curve straight.
Okay.
And the kid doesn't know if they're going to stop or not.
Oh, okay. So
yeah. You want them to run at or near their PR for 300.
Yeah.
And you have a stopwatch, and you're watching it. They don't know their time.
Yeah.
And if they hit at or near their maximum ability, in my opinion, then I send them another 100.
Wow.
And sometimes we'll have a kid run with them and kind of tap
I remember when I was there, you weren't, not that you weren't all in yet, but I remember we had a conversation where you were still new and you were like slowly taking over because I think you told me, like, if you did too much too soon, it wouldn't have flown, It was trying to bring the Long Beach way into Orange County, and it wasn't working in the sense that parents were getting mad. Yeah. Sometimes kids would get injured. I had to kind of volume it down. Right. But I had to still find the fearlessness. Yeah. And so now I train a different way. There's components, there's elements of it, but I still see Long Beach Wilson training
exactly the way that I was trained, and they're super successful, but not every kid can train like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me see. So we're at Long Beach City, right? So at Long Beach City, when did you finish your track career? Was that at Long Beach City or you ran at USC as well?
It was 92 to 95, and then I ran 1 year at USC and tore my groin.
No way.
And so we were doing, unfortunately, I was in like the weight room doing some kind of a hip machine, and I think I got really sore. And my coach the next day was like, we're doing like 15 block starts. I'm like, that seems like a lot. He's like, well, if you're not going to do what I want, you don't have to be here. It's like everything was, kind of like that. And so I'm like, you want me to do 15 block starts?
Yeah.
Well, I'm hurt. I'll do it. And then I blew my groin out.
Wow.
I couldn't walk normally for like 8 months.
Yeah. It's very.
My coach still wanted me to come back, but it kind of broke my spirit.
Yeah.
That had some injuries. So I'm at USC. I'm not on scholarship.
Yeah.
It's really expensive.
Yeah.
I just decided I don't want to be a physical therapist anymore. But I've run some times, like I've run like 32 in the 300, which is pretty fast.
Very fast.
And I'm like, but I'm also 5'7".
Yeah.
I just made the decision at that point that I wanted to coach and give back, that my journey had ended.
Were you at peace with that?
It comes back and forth. There was times when I wasn't at peace with it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go out on my own terms.
Sure.
And I don't think very many people get to go out, like LeBron and these guys.
Sure.
He's getting upset right now, right? Because they're saying for the first time in his life he doesn't have.
Yeah.
They're not like, the Lakers are not focused on him.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that it got taken from me.
Yeah.
And there were some people in my life, because I could have gone to a lot of Cal States and
sure.
got offers for scholarships. And so it was like, maybe you just bounce out of USC and go to these other schools. But once I make a decision, that's pretty much what it was. And I reflected and said, I'm going to now give back.
Yeah.
I'm going to mentor rather than kind of take the journey myself.
Sure. Looking at it now, like 30 years later, like, does it still come back to you ever? Or you're like, you're very at peace with it where you're...
I mean...
Or are you ever like, oh, what could have been?
Yeah. And I still, like, as weird as it is, in my mind, I still know how to run fast. Yeah. But then when you go out and do it, it's not fast. But in my mind, I know how to do it. Yeah. I just can't do it anymore. And so it's that the peace I have is, if I still could do it, then I might flirt with it, but I know I can't. Now, you see these guys doing masters stuff and breaking the world record in the 100. I just don't have any interest in that because it's kind of fake. Because
I feel like you want to do it against everybody, not just like, I don't want an age group. I want to do this.
If I'm not fast, I'm not fast.
Exactly.
So I want to give back to others who are fast and kind of live. Coaching has been more rewarding than I thought. Yeah. When you won CIF, when people live their dream and you get to go along, when Tahoe got second in state. It feels like you're doing it. Yeah, 100%. So I think it's like people that have high levels of empathy. Yeah. That's why, like, I can't watch, like, my wife loves these, like, Saw movies and crazy things. To me, when I'm watching it, it feels like I'm getting cut. Yeah. I think they call it high levels of empathy. So I have ridiculously high levels of empathy. Wow. So much so I can't watch, like, the abused animal commercial, By the way, you don't show that. It's because you have to protect yourself. Like, and I'm telling you, like, for however long I've known you, you will, like, even if you feel something, you'll cut it off right away. Because if I let people see that, then I feel like it makes them think that I'm weak. Oh, no, not at all. I lose my influence because I'm going to have to push you to a place beyond where you want to go. Yeah. A scary place. Sure. If I look worried or nervous or I'm crying, then you might not trust me to get you through that moment. But once that moment's done, then I can show emotion. So I feel like that emotion belongs to me. Yeah. And it's not something the athlete should see unless they've already had the success and then I can share it with them. Sure. And so if you kind of reflect, those are the moments where there has to be like levels or stages of how much you show an athlete, because if you're too vulnerable, I think, then you can scare them. And I know that this generation likes to blur the lines between what's called like power and peer relationships. Sure. But I'm very much into the maintaining. I'm the coach, you're the athlete. We're not friends. In this role later on maybe, but we're not friends. We can't be close like that. So I can never be too vulnerable. Right. Because then I'm afraid that you might not trust me or think that I don't know what I'm doing. So whether that's right or wrong or different, that's always been, I cut it off. Yeah. I won't hang out. I won't go to the movie theater. Yeah. Remember they wanted to do like go-kart racing. I'm like, no, because it blurs the line between I'm the coach and you're the athlete. 100%. And that will never be broken while we're training together. It can't be, because then I lose authority in my mind. Yeah. So to understand it properly, so this also not coming from like a toxic masculinity standpoint. This is like, look, I want the best for my athletes and I think this is what works for me. But you're also not against emotion. you have to compartmentalize it, because how am I going to push if I'm worried, if I'm running you on workouts where really there's a high level of chance you could get hurt doing it,
100%.
but you have to do it
100%.
to get better, right?
Yeah.
You need to see your coach as confident.
Yeah.
Even though no coach is fully confident, we're all a little worried.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's part of that. I learned that in Long Beach. Not to yes, you can be emotional.
Sure.
But there's a time and a place.
Sure.
And the time and the place is not on the track at practice.
Yeah.
It might be at the meet.
Yeah.
Because you didn't see when you're winning CIF and Coach Knowles and I are jumping up and down, hugging each other.
Oh my gosh.
You never saw that.
Yeah.
Because you're running.
Yeah.
So it comes out, and sometimes maybe you guys never get to see it. We think you do, but maybe you don't.
Yeah. Because I remember after races, like, even if I had a good race or a bad race, it would be like, oh, all right, Hassan, it's okay, good, let's go, moving on. You did a good job, happy, boom. And it was like a very, I looking back now, because there was a lot of debriefing as I got older, community college and collegiate level, where I really wanted to understand things, right? I don't think there was, maybe my brain wasn't there yet in high school, where it wouldn't even matter if you sat me down and said, hey, Hassan, this, right? Looking back, I'm like, oh, coach, you should have done that more. But
there's a lot there. And I do think I'm giving more of that to these kids nowadays.
For sure.
We're having more talks.
Yeah.
And then I also have another excellent weight coach, Coach Martino.
Okay.
So we're kind of playing off of each other, but we have these little talks. But the reality is I don't think they absorb much of what you tell them. For sure. And so really how do I get this kid from A to B?
Yeah.
And the easiest, most efficient way to do it, and it's different for each kid sometimes.
Yeah.
All I care about is getting them from A to B. And so if my words aren't going to have value, then I'm not going to give them my words. I'm just going to show them.
I get it. No, I get it. So
and you should have probably been one of those kids that we connected more with.
Yeah.
But to be honest, you had your own method. You were wearing 3 pairs of sweats. Nobody wears 3 pairs of sweats. And then you would work out and you'd take off a layer.
Yeah.
That was your process.
Yeah.
Is that weird? Yeah.
That's so funny that you remember.
But because it doesn't make any sense to me. But I mean, being worn does.
Yeah.
And muscles perform better when they're worn.
I also came from a wrestling background, so we would cut weight. We would have a bunch of layers on. You know what's funny? The first time we did a 400-meter time trial at University of Central Missouri, I did like an hour warm up. My coach's like, "Are you gonna run?" And I remember I had all these layers on, and I was soaking wet when I went to the starting line.
Yeah, that was your process.
Yeah.
So for me, if that works for you, then I think one of the important parts of coaching is you let the athlete be who they are. So if their arms are kind of wild, you let their arms be wild.
Yeah.
And then you strengthen their core and you do drills, and eventually their arms aren't wild. You don't tell them your arms are wild because it's almost demeaning.
Wow.
Instead, you give them the strength, and the arms take care of themselves.
Amazing.
So you basically train it out of them without them knowing you're training it out of them.
Wow.
Now, would it be better to tell them? Maybe. If you're cerebral.
Sure.
But if you get this generation is allergic to criticism.
Yeah, very soft.
They're comparing themselves all the time to everybody.
Absolutely.
And so the last thing in the world you want to do is identify something that's wrong in them. So instead, just do these things. Yeah. Trust me, and it'll get to a good place. And most of the time, it does.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like I've been successful. If I have a good athlete, I really feel like I haven't let very many really good athletes down.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's kids that are in the middle, and you try things, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But if I have a really good kid, I feel like I've been able to connect and get them to where they need to be, and I feel very good about that.
That's good.
And that's one of the things I'll love the most.
Yeah. So tell me this. So USC, you at that point you decided, okay, hey, look, I'm going to leave this. I'm done, but I'm going to go into coaching and give back. Can you take us to your coaching career all the way up to Fountain Valley?
So I started coaching at Calvary Chapel High School, doing like cross country, which I didn't know much about.
Okay.
But they had never been to CIF. I just showed them drills and gave them some stuff, and they went to CIF for the first time like ever. And I was like, oh, that was rewarding because we set a goal and we achieved it, even though I didn't even necessarily know exactly how to apply what I was doing. Yeah. But they did volume and I did speed work with them, and they got there. And then after that, I was like, okay, well, now it's time to start coaching. Yeah. So I put my resume out there. I student taught at Fountain Valley in 2000. Okay. And the coach there wanted to hire me, but the principal at the time wasn't really pro sport. Sure. So the school called Kennedy High School, which I didn't know much about. Okay. I was just kind of out in the field, and the principal called me in and asked me like 3 things in my gym shorts. Yeah. And he goes, "You're hired." I'm like, "Hired for what?" He's like, "You're the coach now." I'm like, but I didn't like apply. Yeah. And then he pointed behind him, and it said University of Southern California. And he goes, it's an alumni thing. It's that choice of family. Wow. It was said without being said. Yeah. So that athletic director hired me, and I had 4 girls that came from the junior high across the street who had never run track, and we broke the Orange County record in the 4x1, ran like 46.3 or something. Wow. One of the girls ran 11.7, which is pretty fast. She went to Cornell. We had another girl go to UNLV. And then there was two twins that were softballers, Jamia Reed and Aaliyah Reed. They ended up, I believe, playing softball in the Olympics for the United States, but they both ran like 11.9, 11.8 as freshmen with no track background.
Wow.
And they also ran the fastest time in the United States from home to first.
Wow.
So their club softball coach was like asking me to come and like, oh, can you show them something? I'm too busy. But again, it was like a cool thing.
Yeah.
And then after that, actually, that was like 2000, 2005.
Okay.
Had a lot of success, made some mistakes, did some things. I went to Cerritos College.
Yeah.
And worked with Coach Allen.
Yeah.
And
amazing individual.
He was unbelievable because he's just so warm.
Yeah.
And his training was very much like mine.
Yeah.
But he was a little less volume. And so I learned how to kind of take the volume down to lower the injuries.
Yeah.
And kind of find a middle ground. Coach Wells was also very instrumental back then. And he worked with the Olympic team too. So some really good guys. We won state.
Yeah.
And so I was like, do I want to be a college coach?
Sure.
Where am I at? And so I started talking to people, and it was kind of communicated to me that to be a college coach is really hard.
Okay.
Like you almost never get the job. It takes like forever.
Yeah.
Coach Richardson was still kind of like
building.
So it was kind of the idea that maybe I could be the next Cerritos head coach, but I just felt like if this was going to take, I liked money too much. I didn't want to struggle like that. I was married, I had a wife, I bought a house.
You said you liked the money too much? Is that what you said? Or you like the money?
I like the money too much. Of high school coaching is teaching and coaching. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's very safe.
Yeah.
And the college route, you're poor, living poor. And so I would have loved to have gone that way.
Sure.
I really would have. But it was just too easy to just bounce to Fountain Valley.
Sure.
And so at the time I was interviewing at Roosevelt High School. That was a really, really good school out in Corona. But I just felt like in the end, I'm alumni.
Sure.
And I wanted to go back and give back to the school that, helped me. So.
And they had a job opening and you...
Just so happened they had a job opening. I actually interviewed not wanting the job.
Wow.
One of those kind of weird interview moments.
Yeah.
I was 90% sure I was going to Roosevelt.
Yeah.
And so I just interviewed for the experience.
Yeah.
Very relaxed.
Yeah.
Just shooting questions off.
Yeah.
Had no fear.
Yeah.
And afterwards, they said that was one of the best interviews they'd ever heard. And I was like, I didn't even care.
Wow.
So that's another thing I kind of learned is try not to like do speeches.
Sure.
Try not to have too much data in your head. You just got to be who you are.
Yeah.
And if you're who you are and you're your authentic self, it comes across way stronger. And every time I've tried to do like speeches or talk at a banquet, it just doesn't work when I have too much on paper.
Sure.
I just speak from the heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when my coaches do stuff like that, I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was going to talk. Just speak from the heart.
Yeah.
Whatever pops into your head, what was that major moment? Tell that story.
Yeah. So your first year at Fountain Valley was 2007?
So it was 2000 as a student teacher.
Okay.
And I came back and it was like 07.
07.
Yeah.
So what were you doing for work up until that point? Because you were coaching. I know there's not that much money in coaching.
I was a physical therapy assistant.
Yep.
Aide assistant. And then I started subbing.
Okay.
So I was kind of doing those two
So
things.
you were afloat.
I was subbing. I was teaching night school, which was like ELD classes and citizenship classes over at Buena Park High School.
Wow.
And so I was, for a while, I was teaching during the day, getting my master's, coaching, and then doing night school.
Wow.
So it was pretty long hours.
Yeah. Were you married at that time?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And you were able to take care of the relationship, living, and coach, teach.
When I met my wife, we got married in 3 weeks.
Wait, whoa. Wait.
So I met her. We had
this is like first time meeting her.
Mm-hmm. We got married. We had 3 dates, and we talked about 3 main things. Number one, I was like, I know who I am.
Okay.
And so because I know who I am, it's not difficult for me to tell you, like who I'm going to be as a husband.
Yeah.
And I wanted to hear who she was going to be as a wife.
Yeah.
And so the first thing I said was, I'm going to coach and you can never ask me to stop.
Wow.
Ever.
Okay.
If I stop, it's going to be because I want to stop. You can never ask me to stop. And she was like, I understand that. And then number 2, I said, I probably don't ever want kids. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm broken inside. I don't know if I'm selfish.
Sure.
I don't know if I wanted to just give back because my wife and I are both teachers. And so it allows us to give back. There's something that broke in me. Maybe it was all those horrible videos called the People Bomb where it was like overpopulation at the time. But something got inside me where I didn't want to have kids. I wanted to coach.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was never going to get divorced. Once I decided to love somebody, that's it.
Wow.
So
even if it's bad,
it doesn't matter. Once you make
there's no bad. It's just boom.
You just set a goal, and then you want to achieve that goal. What is the goal? A good marriage. So whatever you got to do along the way, you make the marriage a good marriage.
Yeah.
Sacrifice, whatever. And she wanted to travel.
Yeah.
That was one of her non-negotiables.
Sure.
She didn't have a lot.
Yeah.
And she was like, I kind of don't want kids, but I don't know. I'm like, well, I'm just telling you, I probably won't.
Yeah.
And she stuck to that, to her credit. And so.
And you made it work.
And we've been married since '98.
You know what's crazy though is that, especially in coaching, is the commitment and the level of intensity. Like, it's very difficult to be a coach. I think I would love to be a coach, but I didn't realize that my coaches have personal lives. And I actually saw a lot of coaches that had very broken, like marriage was in shambles. They had drink, like there was some crazy stuff. And I when I saw that, I don't know, how are you able to, because you're in so many different children's lives. And then you're like, okay, I still gotta go home. I still have to have it. Like, how do you balance that?
I don't know that I balance it in the way that you're thinking that I balance it. So it could be that I have an unhealthy work-life balance.
Sure.
But we understand that.
Yeah.
Because she's teaching and I'm teaching. So when we meet up, it's around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
Yeah. And
then that time is meaningful to us. So from 5 to about 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't answer the phone. I don't text people. I'm not on social media. That is our time to bond and connect. I cook the meals.
Yeah.
I do grocery shopping.
You're a chef?
Yeah. I show love through cooking and meals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm showing that I appreciate her. I put all my money into houses and cars. So I want to have a really fast car, a really nice car, because I'm in it all the time. I'm almost always commuting. Yeah. And I want to have a really nice house. Yeah. So much so that, like, you don't want to leave. Yeah. So pool, amenities, all of it. And so when you really have something you already love, you're really enjoying yourself in that environment. I always want to be safe. Yeah. I want her to be safe. Yeah. So I think that even though we don't have a lot of time, we probably see each other 3 or 4 hours a day, maybe. Yeah. That is meaningful and deep, and that's enough.
And I think also because you have those non-negotiables, there's a good foundation set up. That way when something happens, you're like, we can always go back to this because remember, I'm not doing anything different than what I said before, right?
I've never changed. And she hasn't either. We had one moment, I think she was like 33 or 34, and she thought she might want to have a kid. Yeah. And we had a little bit of a talk, and I was like, I told you from the very beginning. Yeah. And she was like, you're right. And she, to her credit, she was like, I can let that go. You know,
that's crazy, but I get it.
With first graders. Yeah. So to her, it's like, that's enough. Yeah. But she had that moment, and I was a little worried because here's the moment. Yeah. A lot of women want to have kids. And I don't know why I don't, but I just don't. And she just said, you were very transparent and clear. Yeah. We got married. We said we'd be together forever. Yeah. And it just passed.
Amazing.
It's probably the only time, that I've been worried.
Amazing. Yeah.
And so those core values are usually pretty similar. Yeah. And you can see it in business people and in teachers and coaches and presidents, whoever it is. Yeah. I think people share those kind of core. And then you see people that have it's to the max, like Elon Musk, who I am fascinated by. Yeah. Because of his genius. Yeah. But that guy's not okay, right?
Obviously. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's it's
a double-edged sword.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just fascinated by everything the guy does. Yeah. But I don't think he has a healthy work-life balance. I don't see him having healthy relationships with people. So that's to the extreme. Yeah. Could I go down a path like that a little bit? I think I could. Yeah. That's why I've never done drugs, because I'm terrified that whatever I do,
you told me this too.
I get addicted to it, right? Yeah. If I play fantasy football, then we play with the coaches, and I want to be the best ever. If something happens, I'm there to pick it up, and they all yell at me, "What do you live on your phone?" Well, I only do these 3 things. Yeah. And if that's going to become one of my things, then I'm going to be obsessed with it. So,
absolutely. All right, we're going to
worries me.
we're going to switch gears a little bit. Sure. So year 2007, you at Fountain Valley coaching, right? Yeah. I graduated 2011. That means I came 2008. Yeah. 8, right? So when I tell you this is one of the craziest stories ever, this is actually one of the craziest stories ever. So at that time, I was playing football, and I was already wrestling. I was wrestling in middle school. And I ran track in middle school as well.
I had no idea either of those things.
Yeah. I dropped the baton twice, and it was like the end of my life. It was like one of the hardest things to ever get over. But I was actually really good at long jump. My brother used to do standing long jump, and I found out that I wanted to just beat people, and I ended up beating I found out that I beat his record, and I was like, oh wow, this is so cool. So I just enjoyed that.
You set a goal. you achieve the goal and you get a dopamine hit.
Oh my gosh.
And that's a thing.
It was amazing for me. So at that time at Fountain Valley, going into, I think they had 2 a day. So it was, high school didn't actually start at that time.
Yeah, they're not allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Wow. 2 days.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I was actually riding my bike home. So I live in Fountain Valley, and I was riding my bike home. So I'm going, and I went to go check my bike chain for just some random reason. So at that time, I was into BMXing, and all the BMXers, they would take off their chain guard. So I was riding, not really thinking, and I was just like checking my chain. What I did is I went up and down on my chain, and it was fine. But then I went to go like scratch my leg, and my finger went through the chain because I didn't have my chain guard. It went through the chain. I threw my bike, and I looked at my hand, and there was blood just squirting out. And I'm like, okay, I'm like in shock. And I was like, okay, what do I do? Who do I talk to? What's going on? And I saw, okay, there's an opening here at the track. There's people there. So I just started walking towards that area. One of my friends, Dylan Nielsen, was there, and he's like, "Oh, what's up, man? Hey, we're in a team meeting. We can't really talk right now." I was like, "Dude, I hurt myself."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, I'll talk." And then he looked down, and he's like, "Oh my!" And he's like, "Coach, somebody needs to help this kid." And I don't know who the coach was at the time, but I know you were there as well. I think that was a cross country meeting, and then you ended up coming, and you're like, "Hey, I'll help you." And I basically waited with you until my mom came, and it felt like the heartbeat was coming out of my hand. And then
like a bag of ice. I think we put
those bag, the other part of my finger, somebody grabbed it.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
And so my mom worked nights. She was RN nurse at Garden Grove, and usually when you call her, you're like waking her up, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna come." And it took a while for her to come. Like we lived right down the street, and I remember when she came, and then she saw me. She's like, "Oh, this is like," because I used to get hurt a lot. That's just random, just crazy kid. And so that was that, right? Ended up going, grafted my finger. I couldn't really play football that year. They sewed my finger to my hand. I was like Spider-Man for like 6 weeks.
Yep.
And it was like one of the most embarrassing things ever. Like I used to keep my right hand in my pocket all the time.
I didn't see that. So you seem confident, but
it was very difficult. It's very, very difficult. I couldn't really play football anymore. And I also didn't really have the tenacity. I didn't understand the sport at that time. I was really good at wrestling. That was like my first love. And I remember football was done. Wrestling was basically done. And no intention at all for track. Track, I was like, whatever, stupid. Doesn't matter.
Sure. A lot of people feel like that.
Yeah. And I was walking home, or I was like waiting to get picked up or something. I was walking to like that same blacktop area. And I remember you were there. I didn't know you were there, but you were like, hey, you remember me? I was like, no. I was like, I was like, whatever, some random dude. And he's like, you're like, hey, I want you to run track for me. And I was like, no, I'm good. Like,
which is what everybody says. First I'm asked.
and then you were like, hey, I was the one that helped you when you cut your finger. And I was like,
you owe me.
I was like, you know what? All right. Like, and that I legit had no intention at all to run at all. And at that point I was like, okay, cool. Like, let's try this out, whatever, I'll go. And I think this like idea of trusting, especially at that age, I didn't know, like I wanted like, I think importance, especially you're very impressionable and malleable at that. Like it's a very intimate time in high school where all these things happening, right? Yeah. And I remember like I wanted to be important at that time. And I remember you were like, we did some like high jump or something. And you're like, hey, like I can put you on the varsity team. You're actually like pretty good. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how you recruited kids.
5'6". I can't remember.
Yeah, like 5'6" or 5'8", something like that. And I don't know if you got, because I remember there was another kid named Davion Orphy at that time, and we used to like compete when it came to jumping through football. Because I was actually good. I was actually a good jumper randomly. He was a freak athlete. I somehow just had some bounce on my legs at that time. But yeah, I remember I lettered freshman year of high school, and it was like I was on the varsity team, so I was I didn't really understand. But at that time as well, I was still wrestling. So I stopped playing football. I just realized I was just not getting anywhere with it. Every time I tried to catch a ball, the nerves were so messed up in my hand that if the ball touched it, it felt like my hand exploded.
Yeah, wow.
And I couldn't so I was like, okay, whatever. And I also I didn't have that like killer instinct with me. I didn't understand it at all. Wrestling, I loved so much. When I tell you, I thought I was going to go and, get a scholarship, and that was my thing. And I remember we had a conversation, I think like sophomore or junior years, going in that time where like I had to make a decision where like, hey, are you going to do this or not do and I think I was actually like, I don't know. I want to see your perspective. Did you know like at that time, your freshman, sophomore year, like, oh, this kid might be able to be good at this or?
I don't think that far in advance.
Okay.
So my job is to get the kid in.
Yeah.
Set a goal.
Yeah.
And then try to achieve that goal. So I don't really have like long-term plans for people. I really live in the moment.
Yeah.
And so it was just, yes, he has talent. Let's progress.
Yeah.
And you never know how far someone's going to progress. So I did not know you were going to run in college.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were going to be a CIO champion.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the frame, you had hops, and we wanted to win. And the team wasn't very good at the time, right? We were building.
Yeah.
And so,
I think that was so like freshman year, I did like jumps. I was like long jump, high jump, triple jump. And I actually didn't hurdle at all my freshman year. So I remember I went to a practice. Either you told me someone was like, oh, go to this guy. I was Coach Knowles. He was on his phone because, he's a businessman.
He's buying and selling stuff.
And I was like, okay, how do I do this? And they're like, oh, you just do it. You just go and you do it. And I remember my sister was out there and I was like, what do you mean you just do it? He's like, yeah, you just go and you just jump over it. I smashed I hit those hurdles in between my legs so hard.
Yeah.
I fell on my face and I was like, cool. I'm not doing this.
Plastic,
I was like, and my sister saw that, and I was like, yep, I'm not hurdling, so whatever. Yeah. And I didn't hurdle. Even sophomore year, I kind of started getting into it.
We don't force people to do things they don't want to do.
Yeah.
You let it find you. And so you try it didn't work out.
Yeah.
If he wants to do it, he'll try it again.
Yeah,
Every summer, what is the goal? We say you should be doing 4 events.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why we win.
Yeah.
So if you only got 2 events or 3 events, you need to find another event.
Yeah.
And so summer camp is designed to get you guys to keep trying, where I think you get like at other schools, oh, I'm only a pole vaulter, I'm only a sprinter.
Yeah.
Every summer we try to tell them 2 basic things. Number 1, you need to add an event.
Yeah.
And number 2, pretend like you're doing everything for the first time.
Yeah.
Like the first time you've ever block started, first time you've ever done it, and try to learn those nuts and bolts, mechanics, and then build from there. So that's one of the reasons why I think we're successful is we let kids play.
Yeah.
It's okay to go play in the summer, even if you're not going to be good at it.
Yeah.
But by the time the season rolls around, if you can't clear up any height, then you need to,
Yeah. And I think that year, so like going into junior year, when I was like, hey, I'm done with wrestling, one of the most difficult decisions I ever made. I still love it. Even now, sometimes I'll go and I'll wrestle. I love it. Like,
I didn't realize you were that good.
I was okay, but I like, for instance, I think I lost 2 matches in freshman year of high school. I also struggled with self-confidence a lot, especially when you're going 1-on-1 against a man. Like, you look at their shoes like, oh, his shoes are old, so that means he's been wrestling for a long time. Oh, he's going to be really good. Or his shoes are new. Like, oh, okay, his family's investing in him. But, there was a lot of favoritism going on at that time. And I don't think that, Coach Woodbury I think is great, but I think that time it was just a weird time for my friend group that was in wrestling where the seniors had to wrestle and we couldn't. And I was filling gaps. Like they put me at 152s where I weighed 130 pounds, right? But the senior got to wrestle at that time and I had to fill the gap of the varsity lineup and I lost every single match. Every single match, right? And I'm like, okay, you know what? This is not it. It's not right.
Yeah, they're legendary now. I think
they're amazing.
Like 12 league titles in a row, and they have like a feeder and But I didn't know that was disrupting because by the time you're a junior, we usually we want kids to do multiple sports.
Yeah,
it makes you better.
Yeah,
but by your junior year, you should start to think about, am I really good in one place or the other?
Sure.
Otherwise, you're spread too thin.
Yeah,
but we really try not to make kids make that decision. It should come from them.
Yeah,
but we really want them to do multiple sports when they're young.
Yeah.
But again, right around that junior year, people start thinking about college and scholarships and
I actually wanted to commit to something too where I was like, you know what, like I talked to somebody about like, hey, can I get a scholarship here? Like, what was it like? And I was like, it was a very difficult conversation with my coach. It was like, I didn't cry, but I was like, oh my gosh, I was like saying bye. Like it was, but after that, I fully committed.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this white guy is going to be the guy right now for the next 2 years. I'll do whatever. And I think my intensity there was a lot of goodwill in the relationship already from freshman year, sophomore year. And at that time, Kyle Middlebrooks was there. I think he was 1 year older than me. But I was like getting more points because I was in all the events that
you're scoring a lot.
Right. And I was like, I really liked winning. And then I was like, dude, like you also used to do cool stuff. Like there was the indoor championships that were going on at that time. You would take us to NAU, and I just thought, I was like, dude, this is so cool. And I was like, let's just go for this. And it's crazy that I don't know. It just, that track app just changed my life.
Think about this. You won CIF as a hurdler.
Yeah.
Coach Knowles doesn't know how to hurdle. He's a distance coach.
Yeah.
He just kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
And then I taught you the block start.
Yeah.
Now I don't hurdle, and I'm not a hurdle coach.
Yeah.
Yet, not only did you win CIF, I had another kid go to CIF finals.
Yeah.
And so every once in a while, I incorporate when I do speed block starts now.
Yeah.
We'll have hurdlers off to the side.
Yeah.
We have these like floppy hurdles.
Yeah.
And so we'll take either the hurdles all the way down.
Yeah.
And we want them to blitz that first part because most people don't run fast enough to the hurdle. Right.
Right.
So my goal is to get them to do a sprint start.
Yeah.
Because hurdling is sprinting.
Yeah.
And so my contribution is the start.
Yeah.
And then Coach Knowles was, he had his little techniques, but it was just volume. Just
100%.
Practice. So you won CIF with 2 coaches that don't even know how to hurdle.
Yeah.
Never have hurdled, wouldn't even consider themselves hurdle coaches. And none of us, so that's something that you have to reflect on. Is you became a champion and your coaches didn't even know how to coach hurdles. I took what I know how to do.
Yeah.
And Knowles took what he knew how to do.
Yeah.
And you just accomplished something great. And so there's something cool about that.
So one thing that I knew, so I don't know, you have kids that do other events outside of sprinting, right? Yeah. But you would always say you have to do Bivens stuff first and then you can go.
You got to do.
I was 100% Bivens first, always. I was because I saw how, I didn't understand training them, but I was like, oh my gosh, I'm fast. I can do stuff. I can jump far. So I'm going to keep doing this because I know this is working. And the other thing you used to do, and I'm pretty sure you still do it now, I was deathly afraid to come to practice because you never told us what we were doing.
Yeah, I just had kids.
Can you explain that to us?
Well, I got that from Long Beach.
Okay.
So Coach Richardson, not the Richardson you know, he's a famous Long Beach poly coach and unbelievable, but he would never tell us the workout. Not only would he not tell us the workout, he wouldn't tell you the workout while you were doing it.
Wow. Yeah. So
if you're doing 500s, you'd be like, I want you to run a 500. And you're like, okay, what pace? He's like, there's no pace. I want you to run it hard.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, how many are we doing? He's like, you just need to worry about this one.
Yeah.
Well, if I run this one too hard, how am I going to be able to do the next one?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that's the concept. And then also kids throughout the day, they yell to me, Coach Bivins, hi, what's the workout? I don't just get tired of it. So I'm like, you don't need to know.
Yeah.
Just trust the process.
Yeah.
And so I still will not tell anybody at the workout. Now I will tell them because I think it's beneficial for kids nowadays.
Yeah.
But the Long Beach way was so hardcore.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even tell you how many you were doing.
Yeah.
Because if they told you, you'd probably freak out.
Yeah.
So it's just do this one as hard as you can and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And so that was what I inherited.
Yeah.
And it's just not feasible probably in my current situation.
Yeah.
But I still have remnants of it because I respect those guys so much. And
Yeah.
I have to bring that edge in kind of a bougie community.
Yeah.
Fountain Valley is a really nice place to live.
100%.
So I got to bring that aggression.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? Well, one way is you don't need to know everything in advance.
Yeah.
Your job is to trust and just do it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, Coach. You've been more than a coach. You've been a maybe you don't know, but you were a huge part of me becoming a man, especially in high school. There's a few lessons. I
don't recognize that, and I don't know that. So
I want to tell you a story real quick, where it sticks to me to this day. So we were at NEU and indoor track meet, and I think 2 things happened there. But one of them that was really big for me is we were doing the 4x4. It was altitude, and I had
hot it was in there. I think.
Yeah, it was just
stifling hot.
It was just a weird, and I remember I did horrible at long jump. Right, so I was already down. And then I think I hurdled, didn't do that well, and then I had to run the 4x4. And so I knew about the altitude thing, and I kind of I pushed out. I wouldn't say I dogged it, but I didn't do a good race. But in my head, what was going on was oh, this altitude, I feel like there's water in my lungs. That'll be a good excuse. So if anybody asks, and I remember after you were like, oh, Hassan, what happened? And I was like, oh, it's whatever. And the next, when we got back that Monday or Tuesday, we were in the back where the football fields were, and we were doing this crazy workout. I don't know what it was, but I was killing it. And then I remember you took me aside and you're like, oh,
those were 500-600s where you never really knew how far you were running.
Yeah.
It was that weird kind of grass loop.
Yes.
At Long Beach too, they would never.
Yeah.
You never knew how far stuff was.
Yeah.
So it was hard to know. Oh crap, that's an 800.
Yeah.
You tell that to a sprinter, they freak out. So you just run this green loop or whatever.
Yes.
You're sneaking distance in that kids don't know about.
So you took me aside and you're like, oh, Hassan, you're fine now. I thought you were hurt. I thought something was wrong. You could just do amazing at this workout, but you couldn't do it then. I had no answer. I was like, oh man, this guy knew that
because that was the moment where I was piercing.
Yeah. It was what excuse am I going to give? Right.
There is no excuse because you already know that I know the truth.
Yeah.
And the reason why I know the truth is I've pushed myself to the point where I had nothing left.
Yeah.
And I gave up.
Yeah.
And I pushed myself to the point where I had nothing left, and then I kept going.
Yeah.
And so you were at the moment where, are you going to learn how to take that journey?
Yeah.
That was your beginning of your journey.
Yeah.
Right? And
100%.
that was a moment. But I didn't know it was that moment. It's just, I saw it, we reacted, we did our thing.
Yeah.
But obviously it was more profound to you. Because you started your journey. I just pointed the way.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be as meaningful to me because I'm like, you should go that way.
Yeah.
But you got to be the one, almost like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
You either go left, you go right, or you just sit.
Yeah.
And you were not making a decision. You were just sitting. I'm like, well, you got to get up and go left or right. And you decided to do that, to your credit.
Yeah.
And whatever my role was in helping you see that, someone did that for me, and so I did that for you.
But you know what I think the profound thing about that was, it's like there's that saying that like leaving it all out on the track, right? There's that, but also knowing that you gave your all. Like if I go back home at night knowing, just between me and me, like did I actually, I can tell Coach that I did my best and this was, but did I actually do that?
Can't sleep well.
Oh, 100%.
I can't sleep well if I haven't been the right kind of husband, the right kind of teacher, and the right kind of coach. And if I ever feel like any of those things is not me giving everything, then I need to pull something out of the equation.
Yeah.
Or I need to stop doing one of those things. Obviously, you can't stop being married. But if I ever feel like I'm going through the motions as a coach, I will quit immediately because the kids deserve more than that. The sport deserves more than that.
Yeah.
And I keep telling people I'm just as fired up right now as I was when I was 25 years old. Now I'm 51. And so if it ever stops being like that, then I need to pull back and be more of a mentor.
Right.
But I'm still excited to do the day-to-day grind.
Yeah.
Even though it's hot and it's difficult.
Yeah.
I still have a passion for it because I still feel like I never got to fully be who I was going to be.
Sure.
So I'm still getting it out as a
Yeah. And it's working.
Still living your guys' dreams.
Yeah. The other thing that happened was we went to a meet, and this is a very small story, but it was big for me, was I was just always crazy, just doing whatever. And I remember I jumped off a rock or something.
Is it Sedona maybe?
Yeah, probably in Sedona. And you were like, hey, don't do that. And I was like, Coach, come on. Like, what's the big deal? And he's like, what if you roll your ankle? And I was like, I didn't really think about it that much then, but then I realized, I was like, dude, when you're going for greatness, like, let's be smart, you know?
Especially during the season.
Yeah. It's
you
like,
want to take chances like that. You
go and play basketball, you hurt yourself. Like, doesn't make sense. Why would you do something like that? And then I was like, this was like this kind of like chiseling aspect of my life where I was like, okay, cool. Hassan, you're super crazy. How can we kind of like contain it a little bit? Do it later. You don't have to do it right now. And that was
Save up your crazy.
Yeah.
And then when it comes time for that moment,
that
is when you unleash it. So it's like quiet people at the bar.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with people like that because they're not talking.
Yeah.
If they're going to do something, they flat out blow you up.
Yeah.
So one of my martial art teachers always said, the people that are talking,
you
don't worry about those people. The people you're scared of are the people that aren't talking.
Yeah.
Because when they go to action, it's definitive action. And so I kind of feel like that's how I learned to be. Like, if I'm going to do something, it's all out. And if I'm not going to do something, then I don't even play with it.
Yeah.
So some people get frustrated with me because if I can sniff out you're not being authentic, I can't fake it.
Yeah.
I just suck at that. I can't do it. I can't be inauthentic.
Yeah.
I struggle sometimes with that. That's why some other coaches are like, just leave it alone. Don't blow them up.
Yeah.
Because I don't like being like that. I want to be on.
Yeah.
And some people can't handle that. The Bivinator.
Yeah.
Like that alter ego that I got, I was just Coach Bivins.
Yeah.
And I guess I brought so much intensity that they said, you're like the Terminator.
Yeah.
And so I became the Bivinator.
Yeah.
That was named.
By the way, what was that like? Because I don't know if you were the most, so the question is going to be like, how do you deal with hate? Because I know that you, especially when you're making a lot of change, some people are like, well, I've had this job for this long, or that. Like, what was it like balancing that? Because, especially some people don't like you, you could lose a job as an example, but you're doing the right things.
When I first started coaching at Kennedy, I was told, because I coached men and women the same.
Yeah.
And I think that at that time, I guess people weren't doing that. Girls' sports and guys' sports were viewed in a different way. And so I just viewed them as athletes, not as a gender.
Yeah.
And so I was told, some of the girls in your workout threw up. I was like,
great.
And?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, they hydrated. We made sure they were okay. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Well, what if they tell their parents? I'm like, well, they can tell their parents. But that's daddy's little girl. And I was like, I didn't resonate with that. They're athletes.
Yeah.
So never did I ever treat a girl athlete different than a guy athlete. I've always, as you know, I've always trained guys and girls together.
Yeah.
There's no gender for me.
Sure.
It's just athlete.
Yeah.
So you're also not a senior or a freshman.
Yeah, 100%.
If you walk in as a freshman, you beat the senior. There's no like we appreciate you that you've been here, but you lose your job immediately. 100%. There's no loyalty in that sense.
Yeah.
Your loyalty is to the sport.
Yeah.
To keep it pure and to compete. It's almost like the Pete Carroll.
Sure.
It's competing all the time, and so you're not. I don't care your color, your size, your gender. If you outcompete somebody else, that's it. So when I came to Kennedy, I had like all these freshmen making varsity, and some of the seniors didn't like it. And so there was some animosity. Sometimes the seniors would try to fight the freshmen and keep them down, and that was a little bit more of an edgy environment. Yeah. And basically, I just empowered the freshmen. Like, you are not going to keep them down. Yeah. There is no freshman or senior. There's just who are the 4 best people. Yeah. And let's go. And so there was pushback with that from, at first from the athletic director, but he recognized what I was doing, and to his credit, he left me alone and let me do my thing. And so that just kept kind of growing and growing. And when I went to Cerritos College, at first they didn't really know who I was. Yeah. So they kind of gave me some of the not very good athletes. Yeah. I remember this guy used to like break dance before he would get in the blocks. Wow. And then they viewed him as not serious and all that. And then he ran like 22.5 and everybody was like, whoa. Wow. And then that's when Coach Allen and we all started kind of talking, and they realized I had something to contribute. And so that fire and that intensity has always followed me wherever I've gone, whatever I've done. And just kind of getting rid of the garbage and just focusing on what's pure. Yeah. And I think that finding out what kids can do, setting a goal, and just going for it, if you keep it pure like that, there's not really jealousy. There's not. Eventually, people see what you're doing. Yeah. It's authentic. Yeah. And they realize it is the best way. You're playing the best players. Yeah. Regardless of who they are. Yeah. And there's an authenticity to your program. Right. And that permeates it. So we haven't had a lot of drama. Like, how come I don't get to play, or how come I don't get to just race? Yeah. Just race right now. And that solves it. But with basketball, baseball, football, there's more of a subjectivity with coaching. Right. So it's harder for those guys. With us, as you know, is who jumps higher, who runs faster. Exactly. Unless you're dropping the stick, the 4 fastest people run. Yeah, 100%. So, Coach, you've been coaching at Fountain Valley now for how many years? 2000 is when I student taught. Yeah. And then 2007.
So almost going up on 20 years. How would you say you are? So sometimes when I tell people about Coach Bivins, right, whether they either know you from the teaching side, and some of them know you from the track side. A lot of them actually.
People know me at all. I don't view it.
Well, like no, they went to high school and they remembered you because you were their science teacher.
I mean, I've done some stuff. Yeah. But it's still surprising. Yeah. That people would know me at all. I mean, because I don't.
Well, you're a different individual.
I am.
I don't know if you see that for yourself, but you operate differently, right? How have you dealt with the outside noise in your life? Well, I would consider them as haters, but like, sometimes people don't understand. Like, I've known you long enough where I know, like, okay, this guy's different, but I understand it, right? How do you deal with other people? Like, especially the one reason I asked about coaching is like when you first came in to now, has the opinion of you changed even from faculty? We're like, okay, dude, we get this guy now. He's been here. He has a name for, like, how has that been like?
It's gotten easier. Okay. I think we've won so much. I mean, we were trying to count the other day, not for any like ego thing, but I think we've won like 50 league titles between first time JV and varsity.
I think you're like one of the most winningest coaches in Fountain Valley.
I maybe, right?
I think so.
I mean, I broke the county record in the 4x1. Yeah. It stood for a very long time. Yeah. There's a lot of accolades, but that's just like something that I feel good about inside. Yeah. I wouldn't put that out there. Sure. I think we actually, like, one of our girls has like the 55 indoor record. A coach is like, oh, your kid, I didn't even know. Wow. Because it's not about that for me. It's not about that for them. It's about achieving goals. And so mostly it just is internal. Yeah. I know that no one bothers me. They let me coach. They give me a certain amount of leeway. Yeah. What I try to tell the administrators is there's 250 kids on our team. Yeah. So if you hear from 10 parents that are mad, I'm doing a really great job. Sure. I don't want to hear from 5 or 10 parents that have a problem when hundreds don't. Yeah. And we try to have that clear conversation. Yeah. And to be honest, and this is a credit to Fountain Valley and the people there, it's very rare that we have even one. Wow. Amazing. On a year-to-year basis, I almost never have any problems. Yeah. It's always a freshman parent. Yeah. Who doesn't understand track, like, why is my kid gone for 17 hours? Sure. Well, track's different, right? Yeah. Really, it's more of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Sometimes it's about fundraising. Yeah. They want to do certain things. I'm against fundraising. I don't like fundraising. I want the kids to run and do their homework and go home. Yeah. they need to figure it out without burdening the kids.
Yeah.
And so we have this Central Park Invitational, which is now up to like 5,000 runners.
Oh, wow.
We're making huge money. There's over 100
amazing.
schools. So that was just a blessing I inherited from the coaches before me, but we've made it much bigger.
Yeah.
That pays almost all the bills.
Wow.
So we don't have to fundraise. We don't fundraise.
Amazing.
We don't do bingo. We don't do restaurant fundraisers.
Yeah.
It's all about the academic experience of the kid. They need to keep their grades up. As a result, we almost never lose kids to grades.
Wow.
Because it's all about training and grades, and that's it. We don't want anything else.
Yeah.
So I think that over time you get left alone because you earn that credibility.
Yeah.
Early on there was some issues, but yeah, I just think people, to their credit, they trust me and they leave me alone. And as long as it stays like that, then I see myself coaching another 10 years until I retire.
Yeah.
My goal is I think I'm going to end up coaching every year I've been a teacher for my entire career. I've never taken a year off.
Wow, amazing.
I've never missed a year of coaching and teaching together.
Wow. Tell me this. So like, I think what I really started enjoying my last 2 years is I feel like you kind of really got into, you were doing you. So for instance, I remember we used to do these things where there was like, we would close our eyes and we would like, you would breathe and then you would like flex a muscle. I don't know if you remember that. There was that. And then like the other thing you taught us was like the first 7 seconds out of the race, like it's like you have that in the tank where you just like, you should push as hard as you can. You're going to be fine regardless. We started doing visualization stuff. You kind of incorporated like breathe, like these weird different breathing tactics. I love that stuff. Like I remember, like you would say like, hey, when you're done, when your eyes are closed, when you're done, then you're gonna start whatever. I remember I'd be the last person because I would like, I loved, like I was like, this is so cool. Can you tell us a little bit about how you bring, like it's a different flavor going into either in high school, but in general, like you're adding all these outside things into your coaching.
I had trouble with my voice from the very beginning of teaching. And it was really pretty terrifying. I mean, most people don't know this, but it's almost like I've lived with a disability that is unknown for my entire career. Wow. So my voice, it was just always bothering me. It was like vocal fatigue or something. And it happen the very first time, within a month of student teaching, I felt like I couldn't talk. Wow. I was spraying my throat with like that throat numbing spray. Wow. I went to like 7 or 8 of the best speech and language people you could go to. Ear, nose, and throat doctors. They said I had like a little nodule on my vocal cord, so they surgically kind of just sliced it. Yeah. But it never got better. And so for my entire career, I've always battled that thing. Until recently, I found out that it's probably acid reflux. It's the stupidest thing ever. Wow. So it's just, one night I woke up to go to the bathroom and I noticed like I swallowed and all this stuff came out. And I was like, well, it's like acidic. Wow. I'm like, is that sitting on my vocal cords all the time? And so that's why I'm doing the alkaline water and changed my diet and got off coffee and caffeine and all that stuff. Yeah. And so my voice has been much better now. So I realized all these doctors, and I went to like UCLA, USC, Cedars-Sinai, like everywhere you can go. Nobody caught it. Nobody figured it out. Yeah. And so along my journey of trying to help my voice, I said, well, I'm going to do some yoga. Maybe because they thought my neck was tight. Sure. And so in Fountain Valley, there was a yoga studio. 7th chakra, right? Yeah. And they were doing, it's called the yoga of awareness. Now I know it's kind of a very religious thing. I didn't take it that way. I kind of took what they were offering and I integrated it into more of a physical experience. Yeah. Obviously, I'm a spiritual person. Yeah. But I'm not I wasn't buying their spirituality. I'm Christian. Sure. They were, I'm not actually sure what they were. Yeah. But it was cool because it didn't matter. Yeah. Like they were giving me their technology is what they called it. I was embracing what I could use. Yeah. And so I'm a person that prays and meditates. And so I connected that. So some of the concepts of Kundalini yoga, the breathing, the breath of fire, the mantra, I kind of converted it to something I was comfortable with. And then I used it. And so I started teaching you guys. My first day there, the teacher was like, I want you to raise your arm up. Yeah. And we're going to keep your arm in the air for 10 minutes. Yeah. And there was other ladies there. They were like 70 years old. And they all were just breathing and doing their thing. And I remember my arm after like 2 minutes, I'm like shaking. I'm a Division I athlete. Yeah. If this lady over here can do it, I don't care if they have to come over and cut my arm off with an axe. Yeah. I will not put my arm down until she does. And so I'm just like going through these moments, right? And so it's that same Long Beach way, right? Yeah. The Long Beach way. Yeah. And so breathing and relaxing and going to mantra. I remember a powerful experience was I would envision myself sleeping in my bed. Mm-hmm. So I'm not here right now. I'm not feeling this right now. I'm actually in my bed. And I would visualize myself. I don't know exactly what I was doing. Yeah. I don't know if that works for everybody, but I just basically left my body and was in my bed. I went to a safe place. Yeah. I've heard of people that memorize things and they put like this memory on their couch in their house.
Yeah.
And so when they want to remember things,
they call it like a mind palace, right?
Yes. And I was doing that at USC, not even realizing. I used to memorize flashcards and I would put them on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
I think I did it naturally. I don't know where it comes from, but it connected with some of the things I had done in college to memorize flashcards and whatnot. And so I brought that into my own life, trying to relax my throat. And it did help a little bit, but then I brought it to you guys, realizing that this ability to be single-minded in a track race, to get everything out and try to go from A to B and to know that it's going to hurt and to embrace the suck, which I think is like a military thing. It was helpful. And so sometimes I remember you guys were at like a track meet. I don't know if it was your group or it was raining. It might have been after you. And it was cold and it was uncomfortable. It was an all-comers meet. Everybody was leaving. And my kids got together and they did Breath of Fire.
Oh, wow.
And they were just like,
wow.
And then they just did that for like 5 minutes, got together and like, we're ready to go.
Wow.
And they just shut out the rain.
Amazing.
Shut out the environment. So I saw, wow, that was a meaningful, powerful thing. And so we start with like 5 minutes of raising your arm. And we try to go to 10. I've got some kids at 20 minutes.
That's amazing.
They go to 30 minutes to pass your teacher training.
I got a little bit of it because I now, like, you know, after I graduated, when I look back, then I knew you were going your full 4-year programs. Like you were doing it, like when they come in, I got like the ending of it. That's when you were fully in. And I always just tell myself, like, man, if I was with Bivens for 4 years, like
could have been a
different game. So, okay, I'm bringing up a personal story, and I want to hear your feedback because now that you told me your story, now I want to see where you're going with this. So as I was finishing my senior year, I remember I had a conversation with you, and this is when I realized I wanted to be a decathlete. And
was Coach Kim?
No, there was no Coach Kim. It was Coach Josh, Coach Rich.
So did Coach Richardson help you with that?
So yeah, I remember at that time, Coach Rich was like, you knew him because he used to like jump around a lot.
Yeah.
And he was at Cerritos at that time.
Yeah.
And you had told me, I told you, I was like, hey, Coach, I think I'm going to go to Compton. Do you remember what you told me? I want to tell you.
Was Coach Richardson there at that time?
I think he was just getting that job.
Okay.
So
I might not have known he was there yet.
So you had said, you're like, hey, Hassan, if you go there, no one's going to respect you.
Right.
You were like, hey,
I don't remember saying that.
Okay.
I was probably just trying to force you to Cerritos because all those
guys you
were going to be great.
Yeah, and I was supposed to, I told Coach Allen I was actually going to go, but I remember, so like Coach Richardson actually had a really big effect on me because when he started coming, like, I saw him coaching all these different events. He was such a cool, I just thought it was so cool.
He's very calm.
He knows.
He's not judgmental.
Yeah.
He embraces kids from all different backgrounds.
Yeah.
He's got this great, he's like an eraser.
Yeah.
He just erases your weakness.
Yeah.
And then he like writes something that becomes your strength.
Like,
I appreciate him for that.
Yeah. So when you told me that, I think that was it was very difficult because like, you know, you're like a father figure to me. So like I also spent almost all my time with you those last 2 years. So when you had said that, I was like, oh my, what do I don't know if you wanted me to, like, I did have a bunch of other offers and a good amount, nothing crazy, but I don't know, maybe. So let me just tell you what was going through in my head. When you told me that, I was so committed to my dream at that point where I was like, okay, you said that's going to happen. In my head, I was like, dude, no, I don't even care. No, everyone's going to laugh at me. Okay, fine. But I'm going to go for it. And that's how I took it. I think there was like a little bit of space. I think at that point I created some space between our relationship because I was like,
maybe he doesn't really know what's best for me.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't understand. It's just me being a kid,
That's
right?
Good though.
But I also, like, looking back, I also realized like whatever you had said, it was coming from a place of love. It wasn't like, oh no, I don't want you. It was like, hey, because I've been with you, it may not be the best option for you.
I knew these other coaches. I believed in them.
Yeah.
I thought that they would be better for you in your life at that time.
Yeah.
I probably didn't know he was there yet.
He was just getting that job.
Okay.
Just getting that job. And
if I had known that would have made me feel better.
Yeah.
Then you're going to this random place I don't know.
Well, I think he was at Arkansas or something, and he was like doing a bunch of different jobs. So you're like, hey, just be careful because if you go there, he might go somewhere else. So are you sure you want to go there?
Right.
I remember I told him that same thing.
And he did end up going.
Yeah, he did. He went to Surrey, right? But you know what happened? When I went to Compton, my mom came with me. Say very similar to you. Your mom came with you to Long Beach?
Yeah.
My mom came with me, and she's like, hey, I'm giving you my son. He's your responsibility now. And literally, Rich was like, okay, I got it. And he was like a hawk. Like, and wherever I would just follow him everywhere.
Actually, the campus is in a safe area. You say Compton, it sounds scary.
Yeah.
The campus is okay. It's just you can't really leave.
Yeah. When we used to do long runs, he was like, "Hey, go 15 minutes out, 15 minutes back." I'd go as fast as possible, come back as fast as possible. It was didn't make eye contact with anybody.
I get it.
But what was that? I don't know how much you remember of that conversation.
I don't remember it at all. Other than I always tried to put people at Cerritos largely because of Coach Allen.
Yeah.
Because I felt like he could unlock something special in almost everybody. They had Coach Higgins was an amazing throw coach. Legendary.
Yeah.
So you were going to have all the elements of a decathlete at that place.
Yeah.
They also would either win state or go to state. He would take people places.
Yeah.
And so I was heavily invested in that experience.
Yeah.
And so I've seen him do so well with so many different people.
Yeah.
That was probably literally the only thing I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Again, if I'd known Coach Richardson was there, I would have felt better about it. I didn't know anybody there. You were special to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to see your dream die. And so that was probably what it was. But what you took as a slight or an opportunity to challenge, like, I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
They didn't even register in my mind. And even if it did, I would have just been happy that you're being your own man.
Yeah.
You have to give people space eventually to be who they are.
Yeah.
And if you're going to stand up, then do it.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to set a goal and go to Compton or whatever it is, then you better not waste this opportunity. Otherwise, I'm not going to have respect for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And
that would be how I would treat it.
Even when I came back, you would always tell me, like, you were like, hey, do it for as long as you can. Like that was, and that like, every time I come back, I get this little like,
because I didn't
know that. But now that also told me, you're like, hey, Hassan, you're making some money. Okay, cool. Do it as long as you can. Like if you're able to, go for it. And that always stuck with me. I was like,
you were living my dream.
Yeah. So wow, that's crazy.
That's what it was. It was letting you get something I didn't get.
Yeah.
So I always wanted you to be like, because I was married.
Yeah.
Because I was in an expensive school.
Yeah.
I made certain decisions. If I had gone to some of the other Cal States that offered me, I might have made a different decision.
Sure.
If I wasn't married, I might have made a different decision.
Yeah.
And I don't regret any of those things, but it was like another universe, another parallel universe. I didn't become that person.
Sure.
So I wanted you to make sure that you had that opportunity too.
That's amazing. Yeah. You were coaching me after, I mean, even now till this day, I still see you as my coach. It'd be very weird for me if I was like, hey, Brian, how are you doing? I could be I'm like, hey, it's a different level of, I think I'll always be student and you'll always be coach.
Well, I should be because we created those parameters.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you blur the lines, if a coach becomes your friend, it becomes very difficult to have them be your coach.
Exactly.
That's called peer versus power relationships. And so you teach that in my science class and my health class.
It's interesting though, because if I look at my college coaches, it's a very different relationship, right?
They're younger.
But like when I think of like, you know, I sat with Rich here the other day, but like it's a complete different, like when I think of Coach Bivins, this is a completely different dynamic.
And the same thing is, if I think of my coaches, I've never had lunch with one of my coaches.
Wow.
I've never gone to the movies with one of my coaches.
Wow.
I don't know their parents' name or their wives' name. I don't even know anything about them because they would show up, they would coach. That was where it was. If you got in trouble, they would help you. They'd be there for you.
Yeah.
But other than that, nowadays, you just got to be very careful that we all have our boundaries.
Yeah.
Because people can start feeling certain ways, and even though you're not necessarily putting that out, but regardless, I think I've been happy that I've been pretty safe my whole career. Being very clear about, I am a coach, you're an athlete. We don't cross those lines. And if you start to cross those lines by texting them too much or being on social media too much, from my experience, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble.
100%.
I'm trying very hard never to cross those lines, even if it's unintentional. I think coaches can unintentionally cross those lines. And so because I didn't grow up with social media, it's different for Coach Richardson where you have to use it now. You're gonna be, if I was a college coach, I'd be all over it. I wouldn't feel comfortable at first, but I would use whatever tactic I would need to use. And so I think that getting to know people, like getting to know your coaches in that way, is the modern experience. I will never go that way unless when I'm done with high school, I go to college and that becomes my reality, which there's a chance I'll do that. But I just don't think it's appropriate to make a power relationship, coach athlete, into a peer relationship. Peer relationships are not parents. Parents and kids is power. Coach and kids is power. And I'm defining it differently than maybe today. Peer relationships are, we are equals. You're not an equal with your coach. They design your workouts, you don't. Even though you allow athletes to have some input, at the end of the day, if the coach isn't driving the workouts and driving the process, athletes can really get themselves in trouble because they can't see the big picture. They don't have enough experience. And some of the things they think they're doing that's right ends up not being right for them. So the coach has to say, I appreciate your input. Maybe we can add some of those things. But in reality, you need to trust my system or we can't work together. And that's ultimately what I'm like.
So tell me about trust, because I want to know, like, I think one of the biggest things for me was that trust factor, right? And I think if I trusted sooner, I would have been in a different spot. Do you have any advice for either parents? There's a lot of parents that follow me as well. Like, what could they start doing for their athlete when, they come to high school? Let's say they want to run track. Hey, this is like here, just go all in. Trust the process. Is there any advice you have where you could tell parents like, hey, if you want your child to excel, this is the best way for them to trust the process? Or, hey, this is going to be your coach. What he says, this is the way.
You have to let them be their authentic selves. So your dream for them can't be their dream. So first you have to let them identify what is my dream, or give them space.
Yeah.
Because it might change. You might have been a great football player.
Yeah.
They might start playing football. That's not their dream. I really appreciate parents that allow them then to pivot. So is this what you want to do with your life? Being able to go out to lunch and have that conversation without feeling like you have to say what you want me to hear, instead being your authentic self. And when you say if you'd bought in earlier, you would have gone farther, you weren't capable of that.
Yeah.
So you have to go down your path, your journey, your experience, and you don't want to speed that up. Because honestly, it's like you see like quarterbacks nowadays all have these private coaches. And so their mechanics are extremely accelerated. And so now they go to the NFL and used to give a quarterback 5 years to succeed. Well, now they give them half a year.
Wow.
And if you're not good within a half a year, you're out. Why? Because their mechanics look like, we already know, but what they don't have is the emotional maturity. They don't have the emotional IQ. They don't know how to be a leader of men. That you can't rush. So giving your kids space to become leaders of men, leaders of women, be authentic, be their authentic self, be able to tell you their truth. And knowing that their truth might change. So even though you look at them and you say, you're saying that's your truth, but I don't believe it. It might be their truth at that moment, but it also can change. And so being flexible and giving them space. And so Coach Kim, who I coach a lot with, she calls this play, letting athletes play. We lose that where it's like everything is so serious all the time. Whereas, every summer camp, we're like, you can go long jump. Oh, but coach, I don't know how. Go play. Hey, but I'm really good in the 100. I don't know if I could pole vault. Go play.
Wow.
And so giving kids room to discover things. And if it's meant to be, they're going to come back to you and say, nope, I don't want to pole vault. I just want to do this. Great. I kind of always wanted that from the beginning. But if you never got to do it, it'd always be this thing in your head. Maybe I could have done 100%. That. So if you let them kind of exhaust all those things, the trust gets greater and greater and greater. We allowed you to wrestle. I never told you not to wrestle.
That's true. That's true.
You came up with that.
That's 100% true.
Some of the coaches probably weren't happy. And I'm like, I never told them that. Never.
That's true.
You played football. I would never tell them. But by your junior year, all coaches
you're right.
are good.
You're
going to eventually say, you need to start to think about what are you going to do.
But
early on, let them play. I think we're losing that as a society. Everybody's one sport year round. Everybody's like on an island. Coaches don't share. Fountain Valley's getting a little better with that because some coaches are now. And then even in the NFL draft, they say that like 90% of everybody in the NFL played multiple sports.
Wow.
So when you get fixated on one thing too early, again, soccer teaches you a toughness that you don't learn in track.
Sure.
Football is different than, basketball. And so you can benefit. Wrestling is so hard.
Like I brought my toughness from track and field from wrestling.
Wrestling is so.
They used to just kill you. Like hard, they want to hurt you.
It's hot in there. It's uncomfortable. Wrestling has a lot of benefits to it. And a lot of football players that are good wrestle. And again, you could look into, and we don't have time for this, but you look at MMA. What was martial arts before? Oh, you were a karate guy. Oh, you were jiu-jitsu. No one even knew what that was. Oh, you were judo. And what did you find out in MMA? You take the best of everything. And then a skilled coach finds a way to create a system. That's what I do. I'm like the MMA of track.
I love it.
I will not just do the traditional way. So, for example, I'm very different than most coaches in that we don't spend a long time in base mode. We actually invert the pyramid. So we do speed first. Speed, drills, mechanics. As you get better with speed, drills, and mechanics, then we add the volume. Or most coaches go volume up that kind of, or they do like mesocycles,
Sure.
But I'm a big believer in making summer camp all about technique. You're not working that hard. You're working on technique. You're working on power. You're working on speed. We spend a lot of time on foot and ankle and stuff like that. And then as the year goes on, I actually want you to run the 400 a little bit less fit.
Yeah.
And they don't have any opportunity. Like, I've changed a lot in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
But the core is always
like no more Red Bulls.
Well, if I'm on caffeine like that, I get very happy.
Yeah.
I get very extreme. So when I was little, I found that I was allergic to Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah.
Some red food coloring.
Okay.
I would drink it with the sugar, and I would rip the shelves out of the wall, and I would spaz out, and my mom would just lock me in the room allegedly.
Yeah.
And then when I finally wipe out, she'd be like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "I'm ready." So I kind of went through my Tasmanian devil.
Yeah.
And it turned out I was highly affected by sugar, caffeine, and stimulants.
Yeah.
And so that's another reason why I knew I never wanted to do drugs. Yeah. Man, if this is what caffeine is like for me. So I've had an unhealthy relationship with caffeine.
Yeah.
It's great for performance if you use it right.
Yeah.
But in terms of being a coach for 16 hours straight, it's really not good to be constantly riding that wave. And it never comes back up.
Yeah.
And so I've really been focused on reducing that in my life, and now I'm not on it at all, or I'm on different versions of it.
Because that's how we remembered you, was like, okay, he has his red jacket, he has his black glasses, he has his sunscreen that he's going to spray randomly over his head.
I don't have skin cancer yet. I'm the only coach left.
Amazing.
Every coach I've coached with, I believe, has skin cancer.
Wow.
Except for, I think, Coach Jeremy.
Wow.
So that's...
And Red Bull. That was you.
Well...
No more Red Bull. That's amazing.
No, I haven't. The carbonation causes after...
Yeah.
There's stimulants in there, so... I do the PX coffee, like I've told you. It's decaf coffee with this like very mellow caffeine.
Yeah.
And so far, I'm kind of vibing on that and trying to get comfortable. But I at the end of last year, I had one coffee.
Yeah.
Because I was tired.
Yeah.
It led to 2. It led to 3.
Yeah.
And then I was back in it again. My voice started feeling bad.
Yeah.
And then this summer I cut back off. Everything started feeling better. I'm like, oh, so
amazing.
Caffeine, chocolate, alcohol, these are the things you have to keep in very, it's got to be really tight.
Yeah.
Otherwise it causes problems for me.
Okay. I have a few coaching track and field-ish questions for you.
Sure.
How important is it for everybody? It doesn't matter if they're an athlete, not an athlete. How important do you think it is of the skill of being able to run properly with proper mechanics?
It's everything. People say that,
but
they don't really believe it, or they don't coach that way.
Yeah.
So if you come to my summer camp, the entire summer camp is speed, power, and mechanics.
Yeah.
And so and then even going into the fall, when we start to volume up a little bit, anybody who doesn't have the mechanics is not allowed to volume up anymore until they get that. So we will hold you back.
Yeah.
If you're going to be like stubborn, until your mechanics are where they need to be, we won't even let you volume up.
Yeah.
So you're not even in the right group until you embrace that.
What should an individual do? Because now we're in this like workout culture where a lot of people are just like athletes. They go to the gym, and now that like it's a workout culture.
Yeah.
But they also could be hurting themselves, especially when they run and stuff. Like, what can they do to become a better runner?
They can watch YouTube. Is an amazing. Like we never had YouTube. So there's everything. You can even use, I had a girl who wanted to get faster from flag football. Yeah. And she said she asked ChatGPT. And it created a program. I'm like, that probably sucks. And I read it. I'm like, oh, this is pretty good.
Oh, yeah, no. It's very good.
It's obvious that these things are valuable. Mm-hmm. They are, especially for an entry-level athlete.
Sure.
It was pretty impressive what it pulled up.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really valuable to just use Instagram or YouTube or whatever.
What happens when you become efficient at running? Like, how can that affect other areas of sport, of athletics, or just working out in general?
When you're efficient, you use less energy. So your maximum potential increases. Yeah. So efficiency leads to you being able to accomplish things you wouldn't be able to accomplish if you're inefficient. Yeah. So if a distance runner is got crazy arms, or their legs are moving inefficiently or whatever, or their ground contact, which we're huge into ground contact, is off, then you're never going to get where you actually could be. Yeah. So you're not even your authentic self. So we've talked about that several times. Without mechanics, you can never be your authentic self. You can never get where you truly need to be. Yeah. So why are you bypassing that? Why are you pretending like conditioning? Yeah. Which anybody can condition. Yeah. It takes no skill to condition. Yeah. And everybody who conditions will see benefit. Yeah. But that benefit, after a while, becomes capped because you can only get so aerobically fit. Right. And so if you're aerobically fit with bad mechanics, I'd rather you be superior in your mechanics and then race yourself into shape, which again, this is the inverted pyramid. as we get into the season, our workouts get harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
Sometimes our hardest workouts are during CIF because we're still climbing that mountain.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people do crazy aerobic,
Yeah.
crazy volume. Sometimes they spend like half the year.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
Yeah.
It's mechanics. It's pushing yourself beyond your limits.
Yeah.
And then every time you do that, we add to it. I've been successful with most people. I just recently kind of had an athlete who didn't get there. And so we decided, hey, you're probably, it's as simple as this. It's strength down versus speed up.
Yeah.
I've really, if I was going to write anything.
Strength down, speed up.
Versus speed up.
Versus speed up.
So it's doing aerobic training and volume. And then going down to speed versus starting with mechanics and speed and building into volume. I was always taught.
So break down your philosophy so we understand it.
I've inverted the pyramid.
Okay. So what's working for you?
So we've had a lot of kids. We just had a kid go from 55 to 50.1 in 1 year by inverting the triangle. And so what happens is you start with the mechanics.
Okay.
And then you want a PR in the 60. So we use like Winter State, right? Which used to be the indoor. Unfortunately, it changed. But so everybody, regardless of what event they do, they all run the 60 and they all need the PR in the 60.
Okay.
Once you do that, then you go up to the 150.
Yeah.
And we want to try to PR in that. Then we want to PR in the 300. So we're building so that if you PR in the 60, the 150, and the 300, why aren't you going to PR on the 4?
Yeah.
Why aren't you going to PR on the 8?
Yeah.
So some kids can't fully get there and understand that.
Yeah.
But you're basically sneaking up on it with speed.
Interesting.
So you're PRing and adding volume. You're PRing and adding volume. And then we have a weightlifting coach who mirrors that in the weight room as well.
Interesting.
By using bands and chains and different kinds of cycles.
Yeah.
So he's mirroring in the weight room what I'm doing on the track.
And also in the weight rooms, there's very completely different approach. You'll see every program different.
We do, yes, and that's not beneficial.
Yeah.
The basic concept is weak things break.
Yeah.
And you need to be strong without gaining too much mass. So it's 3 sets of 3, 3 sets of 5.
Yeah.
You want to get very, very strong.
Yeah.
And so in the fall, we try to gain a little bit of mass.
Sure.
And we want to run with that mass. And then we cut weight a little bit into the season. And that naturally happens by racing.
Yeah.
And then they have big breakthroughs just from that.
Yeah.
Because you lean out.
Yeah.
So getting as strong as you can, irregardless of gender.
Yeah.
Our girls lifting just like our guys.
Yeah.
We've had girls squat 300, 400 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's getting very, very strong without gaining too much weight. And if you don't lift that way, if you're doing sets of 10 or something and you get too thick or too heavy, then you'll often see sprinters never get better. Or we've sent a lot of kids to college and they don't get better. And then we've seen them get really good at like Cerritos, and he mirrors what we're doing. So that's another reason why I try to protect people. Yeah.
So tell me this. So you have right now, what's usually your roster every year? 250 kids?
No, that was our biggest roster so far.
What's average now?
I'd say 210 to 215. When we got the scary thing after COVID, we got down to 120. And I thought maybe I was going to stop coaching. I thought, is this it?
Yeah.
And then we had the biggest team we've ever had last year.
Amazing.
So it came all the way back. Thank God.
So what would you say is the difference between someone who can become a champion and someone who's average? Maybe they have the same level of skill, right? They go through the program, but you have a group of 200 kids. What are some qualities you see where like this guy can be a champion, this guy's can't?
I think that they're not equal. So first you have to identify what kind of twitch fibers do they have. You have fast twitch, mid twitch, and slow twitch muscle fibers.
Sure.
If you're more of a slow twitch person, then you want to push them towards 800 mile, 2 mile.
Sure.
If they're more of a quick twitch person, then you're going to push them towards that. So everybody is not created equally. Everybody doesn't have the same capacity.
Sure.
So if I like the 100 and I'm not good at it, we won't let you do it.
Sure.
Right? You everybody can try anything.
Yeah.
But after a while, you realize you're not a twitchy athlete.
Sure. Well, let me reframe the question. Let's say you have 200 meter runners. They're equal. They may be different athletes.
Both twitchy.
Yeah. What makes this person this guy's going to continue to excel and really go for it compared to this person? Like, is it outside of the physical skill?
Yeah.
Do you see any qualities that are like, hey, you know what? This kid could really take it to the next level.
Consistency.
Okay.
They're almost always good students in the classroom.
Okay.
If you're not a good student, or if you're not good at math or something, as a coach, you should look at that because it's showing you character weakness. There's something missing in this person's life. And I experienced that as well.
Wow.
So if you have a kid that's weak in English, math, science, whatever, by addressing that, you'll actually make them a better athlete.
Wow.
Especially confronting them with, why are you not doing this?
Interesting.
It's often with math. There's something weird about math.
I was never good at math.
I understand, and neither was I. So figuring that out, there's a fear. So once you blow through that, once you're not afraid of math, then why would I be afraid of track?
Yeah.
So anything in your life you're afraid of, you confront it, you blitz it, you attack it.
Wow.
And so if you can get people to see their vulnerabilities and then make that, is your room dirty? We'll clean it.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to cook, well, learn how to cook.
Yeah.
Whatever your weaknesses in life, you make them a well-rounded person, and then you apply that. Well, if all these other things I've showed you, if you got better at math, if you got better at cooking, if you do your own laundry, if your room's clean, if you made your bed, why can't you then achieve this?
Yeah.
It's just another thing in your life. We've already identified you have talent. Now it's just doing it.
Yeah.
And so you attack it with the same level of discipline. So you set little goals, achievable goals for them. You show them that they can achieve these goals. And then when they start to set their own goals, that's the magic.
Amazing.
Rather than me setting it for them, you decided I want that. And I'm just like, go, you know,
amazing.
It's like the Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
He is training and he's not really training very hard.
Yeah.
And she confronts him with like, what are you afraid of?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get beat up. I'm married now. I got a kid.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know, once you let that go, it's powerful. You know, it's that moment of, it's not for me.
Yeah.
It's not for the wife. It's not for the kid. It's just for me.
Yeah.
I've set this goal, this internal goal, and I'm going to live that out. And if everybody surrounds you and claps and gets you focused on that, and it's an authentic goal you created for yourself, there's nothing more powerful than that. It's like, again, it's that movie Inception.
Yeah.
Did you ever see it?
Yeah, I did.
If you remember, I just saw it recently.
I didn't fully understand it. It kind of went a little bit over my head. Right?
But what is the main thing? They're putting a thought in a guy's head.
Yeah.
We want him to break up his father's company. And what the point of Inception is once you put a thought in someone's mind, and it becomes their thought.
Yeah.
You help put it there.
Yeah.
But it becomes it's
theirs now.
You can't stop that person.
100%.
And you did that.
Yeah.
We created an environment where that's possible. You discovered it.
Yeah.
And then
you can't stop it now. You can't stop it now.
And you kept going, right? So I think that seeing people's authentic journey, and it's hard to lose people because you want them to get there and they don't always get there.
Yeah.
But that's always magic. And I have a couple kids right now where I saw it. You see it in their eyes and you're like, you just set that goal. Write it down, put it on your wall.
Yeah.
So you want your immediate goal and you want your dream goal. We talked about that.
Yeah.
So what do I know I can do this year?
Yeah.
And then what is my dream goal?
Yeah.
And if you always have those, that way you never run out. And if you hit your immediate goal, then the dream goal goes to the immediate goal, and then you set a new dream goal, and it never ends.
Yeah. Tell me this, in coaching, is there a moment or a time or a memory you can share with us that really made, like, that was your moment where you're like, wow, this was amazing. Like, this is why I do what I do.
There's a lot of
and I know there's probably a lot.
There's a lot of them, you know, like when Kyle Middlebrooks got second in state, he almost won it. He just barely got ran down by a 10-3 guy.
Yeah.
And he was doing my start, you know. My block technique is very different than this. Would be like longer spacing to get more power. Yeah. So he fully embraced what we were doing. He tied for the fastest 55-meter sprint in the United States. The guy he tied with played for the Miami Dolphins.
Amazing.
So watching him evolve, I was like, oh, my start or my concept of starting, I know it works. And then this girl named Kaho, who got second in state in the 800, broke our school record, and we did speed up with her. Wow. So she was my first, this 800 thing. Yeah. Everybody's telling me you got to be a cross-country kid, but that's not what I experienced when I was in Long Beach, and that's not what they teach in Long Beach a lot. It's the speed up. And so we started doing the speed up mentality. She fully embraced it, even though some people kind of freaked out. Yeah. She had this moment. We did visualization, and she just unleashed this monster 208. And amazing. And so she's at UCLA now. And she's probably going to go to the Japanese Olympic team because she's like a dual citizen. But she's looking that direction. But when she embraced that, I was like, oh, speed up works. Yeah. So it's like the block start. Oh, I see it works. Yeah. Oh, the speed up works. And then this last year, we had a 4x1 team run like 42. 5 or 4, something like that, which was like right on the school record. And we did it with 4 guys, and all of them were like 11, 10-9 to 11-1. It wasn't really one monster kid. Yeah. And we were doing underhand relay passing, which a lot of people don't do, which I heavily believe in. Interesting. And we had not broken like 44 all year. And so I put these 4 kids together within like 2 weeks. And we did the pass. I'm like, just trust do my thing. Yeah. And they didn't even know what they were doing. And then they dropped like 2 seconds. And I was like, blown away in the stands. I'm like, this works. Yeah. Underhand passing works. So it's not me. It's I found a piece of track truth. Yeah. The block start, it works. Yeah. Speed up works for most people. Some kids need strength down. Yeah. They do. And then, this this relay passing at the end of the zone, underhand passing, it works.
Yeah.
So it's like special moments like that.
Yeah.
And so I know that I can teach that truth and not feel like I'm giving the wrong information. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
It's like I saw a little piece.
Yeah.
Right? I looked into heaven and said, "Oh, that's a piece of truth for track," and now I get to use that.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I want to tell you, it's a huge full circle moment for me because I met you. I wasn't going to do track. Ended up doing track. That's one of the largest parts of my identity. I met Coach Rich through there. I met Dr. Lum through there.
Yeah, that's great.
I learned from Compton, Cerritos, ended up, running University of Central Missouri, and I also continued my career. And I wanted to say thank you. There's also things that you did for me there where I remember I was struggling in high school with my long jump. And at that time, like, you went and you don't know, not that you don't know anything about long jump, but you're like, okay, let's fix your approach. Yeah. Or I was really struggling with my block start for hurdles. And I remember there was nobody else there. And you were like, okay, let's figure this out. So I really appreciate it's those small moments that kind of stick with you for the rest of your life. And I learned how to be a champion there in high school that now, like, that's a mindset I take to everything I do. Once you know you can win once,
once you're on,
now you know how to do that again.
Turn it off.
100%.
You can always flip that switch.
Yeah.
I think that's what I learned from my coaches and at Long Beach is
yeah.
they invested in me. They taught me how to flip the switch.
Yeah.
And that's where you're willing to die.
Yeah.
You're willing to go all in. And
100%.
I learned that from a disadvantaged community.
Yeah.
They didn't have to give me that.
Yeah.
But they trusted me with that.
Yeah.
And now I try to invest that in others.
Yeah. And I will say, which is kind of funny and it sounds a little bit off, you made me a sick individual in the sense where like pain, right? Like, especially athletes, like, in life, like, if something's hurt, uncomfortable, it's like, no, you need to go there and sit in it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, no, that's where growth is.
Yes.
Right? So now those are things I like. Like, if it's feeling too good, I think I'm not growing here. Like, let's do something. And if I have to push it, that's where actual real greatness comes from. So I appreciate you messing with my head there.
Yeah.
And the last thing we say on these podcasts, the saying here for Growth University, it's do something today that your future self would thank you for. What is something somebody could do today that their future self will thank them for? Could be anything.
Well, nutrition is a big deal. Most people, even professionals, they don't even remotely get into that. So what you put into your body matters.
Yeah.
What you put into your mind matters. What are you watching on the internet? What are you looking at? What are you reading? Are these things going to make you a better human, or are you just looking at things that are going to tear you down or make you weak or make you fearful?
Yeah.
And so what you consume matters with your mouth, what you consume with your mind. And then what are you doing with your body, right? Are you treating your body like a temple, or are you just wasting this experience that you have? So you should be fit physically. You should be eating healthy foods that help you, and you should be putting positive things in your mind. And if you do those three things, you're going to be great.
Amazing, amazing. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. And if you guys have a child, whether they're in middle school right now or they go to Fountain Valley High School, if you want your child to be amazing at track and field, for me personally, I think you're in Southern California, you go to Fountain Valley High School, and you coach under Coach Bivins. You have that to go.
Yeah, we're still here, still doing it.